Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush valley, there was a little train named Willow. Willow wasn't a big, shiny train like the ones that raced across cities or carried travelers from one end of the country to the other. She was a humble engine with just 3 carriages, painted a cheerful blue with bright yellow wheels. Willow spent her days chugging along the valley, delivering fruits from the orchards and carrying children to school on crisp mornings. She loved her job, but deep down she had a dream, a secret wish that she held in the quiet depths of her tiny coal-powered heart. You see, Willow had always heard stories about the Rainbow Mountain. It stood far away, tall and majestic, its slopes painted with vibrant stripes of color, reds as bright as a summer sunset, greens as lush as spring leaves, purples so deep they seemed to hold twilight itself. Every creak of the tracks seemed to sing about its beauty, and every breeze carried whispers of its wonders. It was a place where skies met dreams, where the air shimmered with magic. The other trains often laughed at her dreams. "Rainbow Mountain, you?" chuckled Gordon, the Grand Express. His polished steel glinted in the sunlight. "Only the fastest, strongest trains could reach a place like that. You're too small, Willow." But Willow wasn't deterred. If she closed her eyes each night, she could picture herself chugging up its vibrant slopes, her whistle singing the sweet tune of the clouds above. And yet the dream remained just that, a dream, until one fateful morning, everything changed. Willow was carrying a load of apples to the village market when an old garden snail named Marshall appeared on her tracks. He wore a tiny hat, tilted at a jaunty angle, and carried a small satchel. He looked at Willow thoughtfully and said, "You're the little train who dreams of Rainbow Mountain, aren't you?" Willow blinked in surprise. "How did you know?" Marshall smiled knowingly. "Every dream leaves a trail, little engine, and the wind carries whispers of yours. Today, your tracks hold a chance to make your dream real." Repeating the last segment. "Every dream leaves a trail, little engine, and the wind carries whispers of yours. Today, your tracks hold a chance to make your dream real." Willow felt her coal burner glow a little warmer with excitement. "But how? I've never gone outside the valley, and Rainbow Mountain is so steep. What if I can't climb it?" "Dreams aren't about what you think you can do," Marshall said, his wise eyes twinkling. "They're about believing in what you're meant to do. The Rainbow Mountain has called you for a reason, Willow." And so, despite the whispers of doubt in her engine, Willow decided to try. She left the valley behind, winding her way through forests and meadows, crossing rivers on rickety bridges, and passing through tunnels carved into the earth. The journey was harder than anything she'd ever done before. The tracks were old and uneven, stretching higher and steeper than Willow had thought possible. The weight of her carriages dragged her wheels down, and after hours of climbing, she wondered if Gordon had been right all along. But every time she felt like stopping, Marshall, who had perched himself on Willow's headlamp, whispered words of encouragement. "One more bend, Willow. One more climb. You've made it farther than anyone said you could." When Willow finally reached the base of Rainbow Mountain, she almost cried. It was both breathtaking and overwhelming. The mountain's rainbow stripes gleamed under the sunlight, beckoning her forward, but the tracks ahead were broken and dangerous, twisting at impossible angles. Willow hesitated. What if Marshall had been wrong? What if this dream was simply too big for her? But just then she heard a chorus of voices, soft, distant, yet familiar. Turning her whistle toward the valley below, Willow realized something incredible. The villagers were cheering for her. Children waved colorful flags, farmers shouted encouragement, and even the other trains stood tall on their tracks, watching with respect. "You've inspired them, Willow," Marshall said softly. "Whether you make it to the top or not, you've shown everyone that dreams are worth chasing." With her heart blazing brighter than ever, Willow surged forward. She climbed slowly, carefully, her wheels grinding against the steep metal and her engine straining with effort. Steam puffed from her chimney in a steady rhythm, and her whistle echoed like a song in the sky. Every stripe of the mountain brought new challenges, sharp curves, rocky patches, and dizzying heights. But the further she climbed, the more she realized that Marshall was right. The Rainbow Mountain wasn't testing her strength, it was testing her heart. At last, after what felt like an eternity, Willow chugged over the final ridge. The summit stretched out before her, bathed in colors so radiant they seemed alive. The air sparkled with flecks of golden light, and the world below shimmered as though it had been painted in stardust. Willow let out a long, jubilant whistle, a sound filled with sheer joy and triumph. She had done it. She had climbed Rainbow Mountain. From that day forward, Willow shared her story with everyone in the valley. She became known not just as the little train who carried fruit, but as the daring dreamer who taught others to believe in their own journeys. And though the climb was behind her, Rainbow Mountain lived on in her whistle's song, a melody that reminded the world that even the smallest engines can achieve the biggest dreams.